Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. And today we're doing another WatchMeSC game, and he's playing Ryze. So he sent this game in actually to participate in the second weekly challenge. But obviously Ryze is a tanky character. I mean, if you just look at his recommended items, then he has Frozen Heart in there, he has Banshee's Veil in there, and normally people go even tankier than that. So yeah, he kind of just went for the normal build, and I'm really looking for new ways to play the old champions. So yeah, this one wasn't going to win or even be selected, so he kind of mentioned that in his email to me. So yeah, he said that it was still a nice game, so we will have to see. So starting off here with the Mackie pendant, which is a good choice. He is probably going to transform that into the Tear of the Goddess. And with the Tear of the Goddess you can choose between the Sapphire Crystal and the Mackie pendant as a starter. It doesn't really matter. They're 400 and 390, so both of them give you 2 health potions. And it all depends on when you want to go back home, because the Mackie pendant gives you 7 mana regen per 5 seconds, and this one the Sapphire Crystal just gives you 200 extra mana. Normally on Ryze, his Q and his W scale with the amount of mana he has, and therefore it is better to go with that. But it becomes the Mackie pendants becomes better mana wise once you reach the breakpoint, which is hang on, calculation, about 150 seconds after you use your first spell. So that would be around I don't know, 2.5 minutes. Is that true? Yeah, something like that. So if you go back before 2.5 minutes after you cast your first spell, so that's the 5-minute mark or something like that, then you would be better off with just the mana crystal, and if you want to go back after that, you're better off using the Mackie pendant. So all in all, yeah, as I said, for Ryze I would certainly prefer the Sapphire Crystal, because it levels up both his Q and his W ability. It just gives you more mana, and it gives you more damage, and what more can one want? So because Ryze scales off of mana nowadays, people can build him as tanky as they want, because they don't need that much AP anymore. They're just going well, tanky mana base, I guess, with a catalyst and things like that. So Ryze couldn't actually stop them from killing Irelia. It's really unfortunate, because, well, he does have a great snare, but in this case it wasn't good enough. So personally, like WatchMeSC is doing here, I don't like the spell flux anymore. It used to be awesome, but nowadays it's not so good anymore. So I too go for Overload first and Rune Prison second, and max these two out, taking the ultimate when I can. And once you reach the ultimate, I guess spell flux is somewhat good, but it just doesn't do as much anymore, because it doesn't scale off of your mana and it only scales off AP. You don't want to build AP anymore on the new Ryze. You want to build tanky items with lots of mana. Irelia taking 2 tower shots for no good reason again. The only reason being that yeah, well, she wanted some damage done, but at level 2 you shouldn't be so aggressive in third range. And there you go, she again gets killed here. Was a little bit too early there, but we could all see it coming. But she does actually pick up the Eve, which is a good job. But she died because there were 2 tower shots earlier, and had she not taken those, this lane would be theirs, because the enemy has to heal up, or well, has to stay out of the range of Ryze. And as long as they could maintain that, there was not a lot that could go wrong. But yeah, now Irelia died twice, and Eve is going to have all the gold she needs to lane for the rest of the game, or to gank for the rest of the game. And that is really, really dangerous, because Eve cannot really farm against these 2 normally. But if you give her 2 kills, or a kill and an assist, I don't know what she actually got. She actually got a kill and an assist. It is going to give her enough money, as I said, to stay in lane. Because now she can actually afford better boots and can outrun you. So yeah, let's discuss Ryze's abilities a little bit while he's running back or walking back. So first of all, his innate ability. Whenever he casts a spell, all his cooldowns are reduced by 1 second, which is really helpful in lane. As well as, I guess, during a team fight, because then you're going to use all 4 of your spells, and as you can see, the Overload has the lowest cooldown by far. So you can definitely cast 2 or 3 of those in a team fight, and actually doing a great job here, getting 2 kills. Yeah, never mind. Then his first ability, his Q, or his first active ability. It has a passive and an active. The passive is that he gains 6% cooldown reduction. It's 2% per level, so because he's level 3, it's 6%. So it maxes out at 10%, meaning that that's one less thing to worry about. You only need to gather some cooldown reduction to max out at 40. And yeah, basically the spell itself, so the active, is the red ball you just saw there, and it is a single target nuke. You can actually target someone with it. It's not a skill shot this time, which makes it an awesome ability because it does quite a lot of damage, especially if you have a high mana level, because it's 8% of your maximum mana. And yeah, as you could see, while we watch this fight and we watch Irelia again getting, well, killed, this guy might go down if he stays in. He does have a healing potion left and he's using one right now. But yeah, he may be out-leveling the Ryze, but I'm not sure if you can out-damage him, because Ryze can do quite a lot of damage, and he is of course quite tanky, early on even. Because he has a relatively high HP in the early game. Anyway, the fight is over, so let's discuss the rest. So this is 8% of his maximum mana, and as you can see it's now 94. With the basic spell damage being 105, so that's about equal damage. So you double your damage by getting the mana items, and because he has Tear of the Goddess, that damage is going up and up and up and up until he reaches 1000 more mana for the Tear of the Goddess, which takes a while. You have to cast 250 spells for it, and that is a lot. Assuming that you space them out so that it actually, yeah, twice in 6 seconds you can increase your mana. So it takes quite a while to actually get to that point. But anyway, it is doable, and especially in the longer games, it is definitely a huge increase in damage and mana. So by now, the max mana percentage outranks the basic flat spell damage. And then Rune Prison, his second ability, it is well known, I guess. It's basically a snare, and it does quite a lot of damage nowadays. It used to be just a utility spell before they redid Ryze, and it used to be that the spell just did some damage, and you had to burst them down with the other spells, so people would take lower levels in the Rune Prison. But now it actually does quite a lot of damage, and it's 5% of your max mana involved here. So it's not as high as the Q, but it has a longer cooldown anyway, so you're not going to use it in the same way. I mean, the Q is really your damage source, and the W is just additional damage and a way to farm early on. Later game, of course, you can use it to capture your enemies, to snare them, and to nuke them down with your team. But it's another 5% of your maximum mana, so for your total spell cycle you gain 8%, 5%, and then because of all the cooldown reduction you get from your innate ability, you're going to cast this one again, so that's another 8%. So total, that is 21% of your mana is actually going to be converted into damage with one spell cycle. So with one attack, I should say, and then you have to wait until all your cooldowns are back up, but good, by that time it's not too much of a problem anymore. So that is a large percentage, and that is why the new Ryze is built quite tanky, but with a lot of mana, and it works out quite well. So his E ability, as I said, not my favorite, but with his ultimate it is quite decent. Doesn't do too much damage. It is a blue orb kind of thingy, which bounces between the enemies in a random pattern, and it bounces 5 times. He can use himself as one of the bounce points. So if you're all alone with an enemy, you're going to bounce to your enemy and back to you and back to your enemy and so on. So, and then 5 times. So you're going to basically hit 3 times with it. With the minions, yeah, you mostly lose the rest of the bounces. So you only get 1 bounce off, and the rest is going to the minions normally. Yeah, and then his ultimate. His ultimate, first of all, gives him bonus mana, which helps with his Q and his W. And in and of itself, that would be enough to sustain his mana normally. But because you get so much bonus damage from your mana, you're going to build a lot more mana than you actually will need ever. So the active then, you gain 15% spell vamp, and you get 50% AoE damage. And it's exactly the 50% AoE damage that makes Ryze such a badass, and it used to be a lot worse because its spells used to do a lot more nuking power damage. Oh, is he actually getting out of here? And that is how Ryze saves someone with the snare. And I could have easily gotten out of that, because the snare takes 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds. And yeah, the 1.5 seconds should have been enough for her to run back here somewhere and yeah, not get killed, basically. Not sure. I mean, it depends on what kind of boots they all have. And Malphite still had his ultimate up. So at least they get 1 kill back for it, so I guess that's good enough. And Ryze is 2-0 at the moment. He has almost the highest amount of minion kills. The mid lane is only 3 minions ahead. And that is quite nice. So he's actually doing about as well as the enemy mid. And the enemy mid has been harassing their lane a bit. So I guess that's the reason why he's not all the way up there. Because Brand is a really good farmer normally. Well, Ryze too. Ryze can use all his abilities because he has so much mana and he has so much cooldown reduction, sorry. And well, you can just use your skills to farm and to kill all the minions. So especially if you're willing to trade your ultimate for some minions, then you can push a lane with 1 spell chain. And that helps out a lot, obviously. Because then you can push turrets quite easily, and yeah, well, it does have a almost 60-second cooldown. Well, it's down to 52 now. But the level 1, I mean. But it's not really useful early on because you don't have enough damage to make use of the ultimate to do really spike damage. So Ryze just getting to the stage that, yeah, he's really going to build his first defensive item here. And I forgot the name. It's the shield thingy. Glacial Shroud. That's going to be his first one. Well, actually second one. His first one was Tear of the Goddess, which you want to get as soon as possible. Because, as I said, you're going to need 250 spells to charge it up, and you can only charge them up on average once every 3 seconds. So that means it's going to take a long time to do so. And getting it earlier means you're going to get more and more mana. And more mana on Ryze is, yeah, very simply put, more damage. So the catalyst is also, oh, that was his second item actually. Duh. It actually is really useful early on. So yeah, sorry about that. I had some trouble with my sound software, so I had to redo the game up until this point, and I will be commenting from now on once again. I know I was talking about the catalyst being useful at the low levels, so I'll finish that thought, and then for the rest I have no idea what I just discussed, because it is quite a while later already. So the catalyst is rather useful early on because every time you level up you gain life and mana back. Oh, why didn't they kill him? Yeah, exactly. They could have easily killed him earlier, but decided to let him live for some reason. And eventually did get killed, but now they might actually be dead. Oh, come on. No, run here. Okay, Jack's actually taking the long route around, I don't know. Anyway, the catalyst, as you can see, it gives you 250 health and 200 mana when you level up, and they made it a healing now instead of an instant gain because they had too much trouble with champions leveling up just at the wrong second for the opponents, so that normally they would have died. But yeah, it is of course one of those things you have to, well, keep in mind if you're attacking someone who has a catalyst. And now it's not too much of a problem anymore. So 1 for 2 trade here. Yeah, 2 for 1 I should say. So they lose Irelia, who has been dying consistently every fight, which is quite good. I mean, no problems there. And Ashe picks up the 1 kill that was left. And yeah, Ryze was kind of caught in the middle of everything. And as Ryze is saying, yeah, everybody needs to get some MR, because Jax and LeBlanc, or Jax is even going MR for some part at least. LeBlanc, Evelynn, Malphite, Brand, all of them are AP carries or AP characters, champions. And a little MR goes a long way in that case. So he is building the Banshee's Veil first, even though he first finished his Glacial Shroud. And he might actually keep the Catalyst separate until he's like level 15, because after that the leveling is going to be real slow. And yeah, you don't really need the Catalyst anymore. So it is really useful if you're going to build one early, because then you have the most gain from it. You are going to get the mana only when you the mana and the health only when you level up. And you're not going to level up a whole lot once you reach level, I don't know, 15. Because now it's still reasonably fast, and if you get to rest a little bit, you can still rely on the Catalyst giving you some life back. But it's most useful if you have it by like level 6 or 7, because then you can really get the max out of it. So, Ashe picking up another kill, and Irelia picking up another death. She is apparently the first time on the Irelia here, which to me is always very annoying, that people don't take the time to just learn their character a little bit before they start a match with, well, with other champions in it, with other people. Because to me, that's what the bot games are for. I mean, you need to practice some of your skill combinations, and then eventually, when you feel confident enough that you can handle your champion, you can go into the normal games, and if you feel confident there, you can go into the ranked games. But this Irelia just picked up the champion, it seems, probably because it's free this week, and just started to play with it. And Irelia is not really an easy champion to play with, because she is quite tanky, but you are also really close to your opponents if you try to farm. So getting harassed here a little bit by the Eve, no real problem. I mean, if you have 97 magic resist, then you're going to take about half damage. So Eve not going to do a whole lot here. And Eve is building magic, I'm assuming. Yeah. So, but yeah, she does have quite a lot of magic. Well, magic damage, so AP in general, but that's not going to result in a whole lot of damage if you have enough magic resist. So Eve is going to die here, very nice, before she could actually go into her stealth, because as long as you keep damaging her, she cannot stealth. Wow, quadra kill here. Very nice, very nice. It seems that he is the one doing the damage here. Ashe, of course, is the one with the most kills, or, well, was the one with the most kills. But wasn't in position to do the damage she needed. And Ryze took over and basically killed everyone. So the only one left would be Jax. And maybe he died earlier. I can't remember actually. But yeah, that was a really good good showing off of how to use the skills. So going into Banshee's Veil immediately, 50 magic resist, that means that he's up to 100 now. It doesn't actually change a lot from yeah, just the, let's say just the 48 to 50 that it is when you combine it. But the spell block is quite significant actually. So he actually waited until level 15 to upgrade it. And he might have waited longer if he didn't have the right amount of money for it. Gold. So going for another catalyst here. Going really tanky. But yeah, with Ryze that's not a problem anymore. As you can see, 270 damage on this one for only the mana part, and on this one it's 169 damage based on the mana. And that is a lot of extra damage just for you to pick up some extra mana, which you're going to want anyway, because you're going to want some mana to use your spells. And if you're going to spam your spells, then why not do it like this? So probably going into Frozen Heart next. Frozen Heart is one of those really good items, because it gives the opponents less chance to actually kill you, even though these are all AP champions, so it doesn't really do too much. Yeah, with the with AD champions it does a lot more, because, well, they cannot attack as quickly. And that was a lot of damage. Who did that? Okay, that was Brand. Brand was doing some excellent damage there with his spell combo. And the entire team running away. Ashe coming in to finish off everyone. Getting 2 kills here. Should have probably ran this way. Yeah. So who has the clairvoyance here? Oh, Gragas. Okay. Sure. Yeah, this Jax is going to die now. So Ashe doing quite a lot of damage with all of her nice items, but Ryze is still the one that does the most damage here, because, well, he can just jump in the middle of the group and survive for quite some time. I kinda lost him here. So as you can see, using all 3 spells to farm, which is a really good thing to do. And by now, yeah, this Q and W are already maxed out. His R is maxed out, so he only needs the Spell Flux. And Spell Flux used to be the one skill you used to attack the minions, because the rest just, well, they had very long cooldowns, and you didn't want to be caught with an opportunity and then not have your cooldowns up, or your spells up, I should say. And yeah, nowadays that doesn't matter too much anymore, because, well, it's 10 seconds and 10 seconds, and the other one is 2.5 seconds. So yeah, not so much a problem anymore. So what are we cooldown wise? We're at 28% cooldown reduction. And well, as I said, 10% comes from overload. So once again we ran into some trouble, this time because the League of Legends actually crashed, so the client. And hopefully we will have no more trouble here. And I was actually wondering whether or not he was going to buy the Frozen Heart now. But apparently he didn't. So I'm not sure what he actually bought, because I wasn't paying too much attention here. But yeah, we'll just continue from here. As normal, no idea what I was talking about, so I'll just find something new. So minion wise, we will see that, yeah, Ryze has the highest number of minions in the game. Ashe comes at a close second, and then, well, the two at the enemy on the enemy team, the two highest, really don't come close even. So a lot of gold on this team, and even though they're only 4 kills ahead in the gold race, they are way ahead. Especially their two carries that are Ryze and Ashe. And if Gragas has any tankiness to him, well, no, not really. So I want to say then they have a really good team here. So getting caught once again and staying alive for quite some time, but yeah, 1v5 it is quite difficult to hold. And no help from his team coming at all. Irelia is still full health, Gragas about 80% health, and Ashe wasn't even near, but yeah, it's kinda hard to win these fights if your team isn't paying attention or isn't with you or is doing their own thing basically. Obviously he shouldn't have gone in like that with no vision at all, but yeah, it is still nice to if you go in with 3, because Irelia and Gragas were already there, then it is nice that they would actually back you up. So someone needs to pick this up. It seems that Vladimir is coming to do that, and someone needs to pick this up, and it seems that, I don't know, maybe Ashe will do that. Oh, look, Ryze is coming. So Gragas is actually really behind on the minion kills. He's at 68, even though his barrels can wipe out whole minion waves, as you see here. But yeah, he's just not good enough at actually killing the minions, it seems. Because just here, WatchMeSC got more minions than him, and he was there way earlier, but he decided to go for the Drunken Rage instead of going for the minions straight away. So once again killing the Evelyn. Evelyn only worth 217 now. And actually getting a double kill here, and Gragas missing its ultimate, so that the LeBlanc is actually safe now. And they are still in here, actually flashing in here to get the kill. Wow. Real aggressive. But it did result in a kill, so that's good. But he could have just walked up to her probably and killed her. Oh, that was an excellent kill. Yeah, really doing the aggressive thing of going after whomever is the lowest. And then, well, with the HP he has, he can tank quite a bit of damage. So the enemy had a ward there, but they destroyed it. But the enemy does know that they're doing Baron, so they should probably be in this bush. But yeah, well, it's too late now anyway. But yeah, nobody was alive, right? So it didn't really matter. And they get a free kill. So they could have gotten Brand and Evelyn, but instead they get Baron and Evelyn, which is a lot better. So they did, it was discussed on the DreamHack that they did fix the when you get the buff, and nowadays if you respawn, so if you die and your team takes Baron, you still get Baron. Or if you die and you are killing the blue buff because you're having some damage over time spell, or well, some poison, I don't know, and you die before you actually kill it, but it dies anyway to your poison, then you still get the blue buff or the red buff. And I'm pretty sure it used to be different, because it used to be that you had to wait until all of your teammates were back up until you got the Baron buff, because otherwise they wouldn't get it. But they might have fixed that in one of the previous patches, I don't know. Didn't really pay enough attention to that, so I don't know everything about everything they fix, because there's so much that they fix in each patch. There's so much that still needs to be fixed. But yeah, they are getting there. I guess at some point they actually have a game that works. So wow, engaging here with 2 versus 4. And it seems that they are going to go 2 versus 1 or 1 versus 2. But Ryze isn't done yet because he's still full health, full mana. And he might actually, yeah, he might be able to pick off one. So giving another huge bonus to the enemy. But they do pick up 3 for 3 now. And oh, 2 very low champs here. So they pick up 4 for 3. But they are losing the Baron buff on everyone that dies. So that's it. I mean, the Jax is not coming out to play anymore. Oh, he is, but on the other side of the map. And yeah, I cannot see the health I wanted to say, but the health was still very low. So second time somebody dies on the enemy team. I think it's the second time even Jax dies at very low health. So 5 versus 3, definitely worth it, even though they lost the Baron buff. But yeah, it really wasn't a smart engagement to go in 2v3 and then eventually 2v4, because you're not going to survive that even with the Baron buff. But yeah, apparently they couldn't wait, or they didn't know that someone was there. But it seems like a strange place to go check or to walk through accidentally. I mean, who's going to walk in this bush accidentally? Where were you going to? So by now, yeah, each of the Qs is a kill, basically. And Brand, yeah, Brand really is no match. And actually picking off the Eve as well. Wow. Eve isn't doing too well here. Oh, that's not him. I was following the guy with the benches filled, but his was already popped. So some excellent damage here from the Vladimir, and he actually gets the kill. And yeah, by now this game is well beyond over. Get out. Oh, is he going to get it? Yeah, very nice, very nice. He didn't actually use the spell flux there. He could have used that to shave 1 second off the overload cooldown, and that way he would have gotten the kill a little bit earlier, but also making sure that they would get the kill. So yeah, Brand is really no match, which is probably showing here. Brand is 5 and 10 with 137 minion kills, and Ryze is 14 and 5 with 184 minion kills. So yeah, that's really not a fair fight anymore. And Evelyn, come on. So no magic resist probably on any of them, and that is why Ryze is having such a field day here. So no magic resist on Brand, only very limited magic resist on oh no, never mind, I didn't see the benches fill. So enough magic resist on Malphite, but yeah, Malphite is not going to win the fight all on his own. Evelyn, no magic resist. Yeah, LeBlanc finally, she does have a bench fill. So that's actually a good build. It incorporates a bench fill. I would like to have seen the Rod of Ages, for example, instead of one of the, well, for example, the Void Staff. But hey, who am I to judge? Yeah, and this guy really doesn't have anything in the form of magic resist. Even though the Ryze is the only real problem in the enemy team. So, going for some more magic resist here, with the ability power attached to it, and of course the reduction of magic resistance of enemies around you. So making it even easier to kill, but also surviving a little bit longer, actually dying here, but yeah, they will pick up 4 kills. And there we go. Now this 5th kill, you can just leave him. He cannot defend. But I want to die. I really don't understand that. I mean, obviously you're going to wait until you get a better chance, and you're going to attack the turrets in the meantime. But no, I wanted to die and give the enemy team even more gold, and then maybe even a chance to come back. But really, at this point, there's no chance to come back. So that was a really big hit on the turret. No. That was the replay system updating the turret health, and I don't know why this turret is still standing if it has 130 health, with Ash's attack damage at 230, so it's 1 hit literally, and she could have easily done that, but so not upgrading the Glacial Shroud here because well, it doesn't matter against AP champions. You're going to have some extra, a lot of extra mana, and some extra armor, some cooldown reduction. But in general, yeah, the armor is only going to be useful for the basic attacks, and they aren't a problem. The problem is going to be the AP, so that is why he went for magic resist. Yeah, it's probably best not to attack Baron at this point and actually help out the team. But yeah, guess he's just trolling around a bit here. Yeah, the risk of actually hitting Baron there is that someone might come in to steal it, and if you just stop attacking Dragon Baron, first take out the enemy team, there is no way that they can actually catch up or kill the Baron. Because Baron steal would be the only way to... Oh, nice. Nice suicide. Even though it was totally unnecessary, she could have just ran back to the base and healed up. Not actually hitting anyone. So this game is over finally after 2 crashes of 2 different software. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. So I'll see you next time. GG.